Servus guys, welcome back to the channel. So this video we start off inside the car, which usually I don't do unless there's a reason for it. Today there is a reason for it, because in this video I want to go over my ownership experience with this 535 to 2013 over its first 100,000 miles. So right now the car sits a little above 100,000, almost 104. So I'm finally getting around to making this video and letting you know what problems I had with the car. I have a nifty little list here. That's what I have for my car. So it's literally just a service record. So I document all services, upgrades, repairs that are done to the car, simply with the date when it's done and the mileage of it. I recommend you doing that too, so you always have a record of it for yourself. I use it to track back like how long did a set of tires last, or brake pads and so on, when is the next oil change due and so on, because I change more often than the car will tell me to, which is also usually recommended with BMWs. So yeah, we're gonna go over this list, not in detail. I'm just gonna jump through the issues I had with the car and currently have with the car. So let's just get into it. First I'm going to give you a cold start because I have to move the car. The camera is about 2 meters away from the car. Let's see what it sounds like. Car only has a custom catback exhaust. It has its OEM catalytic converters. So before we go over the current problems, unfortunately, that I have with the car, let's just go over the history to get a better understanding where the car stands, what you could expect if you own one of those. It's an N55, meaning a 535 F10. Mine is a model year 2013, so it's a pre-LCI, pre-facelift. So I got the car in 2016, so it was a lease return at about 42,000 miles. Now, as you saw, it's almost 104,000 miles, so it's a good little more than 60,000 miles on it. And other than maintenance, let me just go through. I changed the windshield wiper wash pump once because it was leaking. What happened there is that it constantly lost the wash fluid. So it constantly would blink at me saying low level and so on. Turned out that the seal on the pump didn't work well. Also the pump didn't work. The pump was broken. I changed the pump. Not that expensive to do, not that complicated to do. You just go through the passenger side real well. You take the liner out and then you can access the reservoir, and that's where the pump sits. I got the car at 42,000 miles about, and at 64,000 miles I changed the radiator and also refilled the AC system. That year it went cold, or it didn't went cold, it just went hot. So I changed the radiator and the AC. Back then I took it to a shop to search for it, and I never found a leak. Never. So I just refilled it. It's been fine for a while, then it again refilled it a second time. No leak was ever found, and well, it's been working ever since. So that is one of the mysteries you sometimes just have to come to accept. I also changed at 64,000 miles the oil level sensor because that was oily, that leaked and didn't measure right. Also at about 65,000 miles I changed the rear differential bushing, and I changed the flex disc, aka Gibbo. They were out at 67,000 miles. I put the car on a Stage I boot mode tune. These are upgrades. I'm running a K&N Cold Air Intake since 67,000 miles, so it's been 35,000 miles so far. No problems at all. At about 78,000 miles, I changed my engine mounts. There's also a video about most of these repairs somewhere on the channel if you care. I've also changed the battery in the key fobs. I didn't notice the difference instead. I still get a warning at times that the car tells me the key fob's not in the car, even though it is. Oh, and a big repair that I unfortunately had was my AC compressor. That died on me at about 84,000 miles. I changed the compressor and the condenser also. And at that time, I also changed the ignition coils. That's again just a service item. And I also changed the belt, the drive belt. Again, about 84,000 miles. And I also changed the valve cover gasket because that was leaking. 84,000 miles on the gasket. And also the oil filter housing gasket. Those two are known to fail on the N55, so you should be prepared for that. I also changed the so-called Mickey Mouse flange. That is a coolant flange that connects the hose to the head. That is also plastic and it's known to fail because over time the temperature cycles it goes through just age the plastic, make it brittle, and then it leaks. So changing that earlier and later is good. Now there's an aluminum flange in there. At about 90 to 1,000 miles, I changed the windshield cowl. It's a plastic trim out here. Also, it just gets brittle over time. It's sitting in the sun, and well, that's just what it is. And recently, at about 98,000 miles, I changed the fuel pump module because the car would stall on me randomly, and that's just not cool. I also changed the fuel pump, the low pressure fuel pump already. I'm going to change the rail fuel sensor. It's the high pressure fuel sensor, just because I have it. I don't really think there's something wrong with it, but since I have it, I might as well just change it and be done with it. And I also replaced the battery at 100,000 miles. So the car that was in this year, it was in summer of 2022. That battery was 9 years old and the car was still fine. It was just starting to be a little weak when starting it. So once you put a new battery in, it starts right away, so way quicker. Tells you it's off. But as a comparison, this battery was 9 years old and was still working fine. The Nexus for my mother-in-law, she already got a battery after 4 years and it just looked terrible. And chances are it's another one due soon. So I'm not complaining about the battery. It was just also a service item that has to be done somewhere. But overall, it's not that many problems I had here. But again, those are the problems I've been taking care of. Now let's look through the ones that I haven't been taking care of yet. And since I'm inside the car, let's just start here. A common problem is this here. This is soft touch, and this is just, and it's hard, it gets soft, and it's just gross. It's the same on the other side. My little son was in here sometimes. You can see his little fingernails been digging into it. I might have to change them if I want to keep the car longer because it's just, ugh. I haven't changed it yet because to change those, you have to remove the door panel. But since I upgraded the TV light, I also had to take these out. So these are not OEM, these are not original. These are aftermarket and the plastic is not the same. So when installing them, some of the clips already broke and I had to glue them. That's why I don't want to take it out again. Another point I haven't addressed yet is the steering wheel. California sun is burning, even though this is most likely sweat from your hand. And it's just up here, which I never touched the wheel up here. Usually I'm down here or down here. And while it's nice and shiny, it's not burned. So I would say this is the sun. If I'm coming in and the sweat, usually it also starts burning up here, but it's still fine. Yeah, that is a little bit unsightly and I might have to address that. And those are the problems I have on the inside of the car and the interior. It's not that much, everything else is fine. No squeaking, no nothing, it's pretty solid, no complaints. And I did quite some work to it. Like I installed dash cams front and rear, so I dropped the ceiling before. I installed a gentleman function. I installed footwell lights all over. I pulled all door panels to upgrade the ambience light. So I did some work in here. I pulled some stuff apart. So far so good. Nothing to complain. The windshield was changed when I bought the car, which just had 3 years and just 40,000 miles, but it looked like sandblasted. And it honestly looks like it again. Only defects that I have is what I really hate, because it's people, they just scratch the car. Especially on the rear bumper. I just bought the car, these, these are new damages. People just scratch it. When I bought the car, somebody just ran into here. Still see the scratches in here under the dirt. That's the day when I bought the car. Someone just scratched it. And recently I moved into a apartment complex during the week, which means the car is parked in a subterranean garage with other cars, and that's when it happened. Of course, somebody got to ding your door, and as if that were not enough, I didn't really hate people at this point because this is new. This is deep in the plastic. Like, come on, you gotta notice that. And if this one weren't enough, and also here, the kidney, same thing here. How do you even do that? And I believe the other side also got some. Yeah, of course, right? Why not? Also, so even here on the stupid on the web, there's one problem, which is there's an oil leak that developed at the rear side of the engine. So in additional, I had one issue that popped up once in a while, which is related to the headlights. Actually not sure which one it was. I think it was the left one. I just got a warning that the adaptive headlight isn't working and this is not working, blah blah. And you could see when you turn the steering wheel, the light wouldn't swivel. But it's temporary. It went away again. But if that comes back and is permanent, it is the light module on the headlight. So overall, this currently dirty car was been pretty solid to me. Other than like a few seals that are, I mean, those two are pretty easy to change and you can combine it with maintenance. The motor engine mount, that's common. The rear differential mount, that's common. The F10 and the F1 platform, they both have that issue. The car has been pretty solid so far, pretty reliable. And you just see the age, 9 years right now, 100,000 miles. The suspension components, they start to wear. Now you know what to expect when owning or when considering owning a F10 with the N55. It's not terrible, it's pretty solid, I would say, but you have to maintain it. I change oil every 5,000 miles. With that, that's all I got for you this video. Try to park your car away from other people, because they will always be people that just don't care and they just ding your doors. The next thing will actually be new suspension. I'm kind of excited for that. So see you on the next video. You take care.